why does other people's success make you type? Welcome to Spirit Tea and Talk. I am excited to get into the topic today. Because I think it is an interesting one and definitely one I want to delve into. So, Spirit is here. I got my tea. Let's talk. So, we live in a time where everyone's doing something. Everyone's making something, posting something, launching something, creating something. Everyone is doing something, right? And we see versions of success everywhere. We see people who are making strides and doing well in their chosen lane, in their chosen field. We see it every day. We see people winning all of the time, right? And socially, we know what the correct response is, right? Socially, we know that you're supposed to be happy for people. You see someone doing well, you say, well done. You cheer them on, you like, oh my God, you ate that girl. Yes, socially, that's what we're supposed to do. And for the most part, I think a lot of us truly do feel that, I don't think it's just performance. I do think that a lot of us truly feel happiness when we see other people win. But I want to ask an uncomfortable question today. And the question is, are we always happy for people? Let's get into it. So this week, I saw a particular brand online getting a lot of hate. The brand is called Hanifa. Now, I don't know much about this brand. I know that it is Black owned. I know that it is meant to be like luxury fashion. I do know they've had some issues in the past with like shipping and getting products out in time and that kind of thing. And I didn't see the post from the brand itself, but I saw a lot of comments on it, right? My understanding is the owner of the brand has decided to put the brand on break because, not being able to meet production, maybe she's gone through life changes, whatever her reasoning, she has decided that, okay, we're going to put a pin in this, right? And I think that's fair. But what I saw online this week, there were some valid comments from my understanding of why people were upset, maybe not receiving orders and the way things were handled and all that stuff. That's not my place to speak on, you know what I mean? What got me though, and what got me thinking wasn't the criticism, because criticism happens, right? And there was constructive criticism. There was people feeling away and rightly having the right to feel the way. But there was a lot of people that felt like they were celebrating the downfall of this brand and this woman. And it made me pause and ask, why? Where does this resentment stem from? And why is there so many people who seem so excited and joyous and gleeful at this person's seeming demise? Mind you, it's not a demise. People are allowed to take breaks. That's a whole other conversation. But people are allowed to take breaks. Building a business is not beans. Do you know what I mean? And whether she went about it the right way or the wrong way, I can't speak to that. I don't know. That's not my business. The business we're here to talk about today is how we engage with success and thinking about moments we may have had where we feel that tightness towards someone else being successful. Not because we're haters, because them people, they are pure hateration. But the context I want to speak on it just felt like this was a great opportunity to ask the question of our relationship to success and witnessing other people's success. And I can say I've had moments, not of asking why them, but more so asking why not me? And not because I want someone else to fail, but seeing someone else doing certain things that I may want to do has caused me to stop in the past and stop and look at myself and ask, Why am I not there yet? And I know I'm not alone in that. So I wanted to have the conversation. The first thing I came to spirit with is like, what's the pattern that we have with success? And not just our success, but with the success of others. What is the pattern there? And what came up was every day we see someone else shining. Yeah. Every day you may see someone else shining. You scroll, you scroll, you scroll. You're continuously consuming other people's success. And success comes in so many different forms. It's not just about people like spraying money, having loads of money, living their best life. Something as simple as someone just having the confidence to post their journey, post their work. Someone having the confidence to leave something that doesn't work for them. And this is, I'm even talking about online, talk less of in real life, you know? Someone in your workplace having the confidence to stand up for themselves, right? For promotion. Someone having the confidence to apply for the new job and leave this job that doesn't work for them. Someone having the confidence to go for the girl or the guy they want. Someone having the confidence to try, you know, a new hobby or a new passion, or, you know, someone having the confidence to just put themselves out there. That in itself is a success. And so you may see that and be like, you see them doing their thing. You see them succeeding in whatever that thing is. And low key feel this feeling of, I want what they have. And the pattern I see is you might feel a way towards them. And I'm not saying it's some large hatred, but something small, because you know you have something similar or of similar value or of similar energy that you could offer. You know that deep down you could do it too. And deep down you want to do it too. But you don't trust your durability. You don't trust that you can fully do it. You don't trust that you can fully have that thing. You don't trust yourself to go out and get it. Or you don't have the confidence to go out and get it. Or you're too comfortable where you are to go out and get it. So you don't. And instead, you keep it inside and you watch this person or that person online in real life going for what they want, doing the thing and succeeding. And yay, well done. But inside, there's that little part that's like, why not me though? And that why not me leads to this comparison. Because even though you're asking the question, you're not asking the question, why them? You're asking, why not me? The why not me on a deep level is why them. The root of this feeling comes from how we've been taught and conditioned from young. I can't speak to the young kids of today because I know everyone gets a participation trophy and shit, but like me growing up, everything was a competition. Life is a competition. And we've been taught to compete all of our lives. All of our lives we've been taught to compete. School was a competition. We moved to work, that becomes a competition. They call it the rat race for a reason. It's always a competition, like who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Everyone's trying to win something. Everything's always a competition, right? And we were taught there's only space for a few winners. And like only a few people can make it. And even speaking to like Black people specifically, right? That whole crabs in the barrel mentality, it's real. It's a real thing, especially because that was the reality for us for so long. Only so many people could make it because only so many spaces were created for us, right? And then talk less of women, yeah? As women, I know now we're all feminists, we're all womanists, and we all support women and keep doing that, right? We, however, have been groomed to compete with each other compete with other women for jobs, for men, for add third thing in here. Do you know what I mean? There's always something we are supposed to be competing with other women for. And so even like today, yeah, when we say we support each other, I believe we truly do support each other. You know what I'm saying? I believe we truly do support each other intentionally. But unintentionally, what I was clocking when I was watching the pylon on this woman who has done something that so many of us can only dream of and built a brand that is like influential, loved, desired, watch it be torn down in such a way. Whether right or wrong, whether they handled their business rightly or wrongly, it just made me think of how those patterns, even if we intentionally support women and women intentionally support other women, unintentionally, there is that part of us that hasn't disappeared yet. And I can't blame anyone for that. I can't fault anyone for that, right? Because it's not visible. It's something we need to unlearn. It's something we need to address within ourselves. Because it exposes something if we're being honest about it, right? Those old patterns don't just disappear overnight, right? And so when you clock it, what I believe and what I see here, the Spirit is saying, yeah, is that it exposes something uncomfortable. It exposes our inaction. When we see someone being successful, walk with me. I'm getting to it. Okay. When we see someone being successful and we feel that little salt, that we feel that little tightness in our chest, what that's exposing is our own inaction. Because when someone else is doing the thing we say we want to do, we lose the excuse. We lose all the excuses of why we can't do it. Because then the question becomes, if they can do it, why can't I? If you can ask, why not me? You can also ask, if they can do it, why haven't I? And that's when you ask, when you feel that question and you refuse to acknowledge the question that's being asked within yourself, that's when resentment can start to grow. That's when you start feeling salty. That's when the tightness grows to saltiness. Yeah. Okay, heard. That's when the tightness grows to saltiness. And the truth is, visibility is scary. Visibility means exposing yourself. And exposing yourself opens you up to criticism. It opens you up to being embarrassed even. It's a bit embarrassing, like trying new things. Like even for me, right? Putting myself out here and making my version of content. You know, again, there's content galore. Everyone's making content of some form, right? Everyone's got their own brand and branch of content. This is mine. And when you're trying a thing and you don't know how it's going to be received, you don't know how people are going to see you, you don't know if people are going to see you or like you don't know what people are going to have to say, you don't know. You're taking a gamble, you're taking a risk. It is risky putting yourself out there, especially in a world where everyone's got something to say. And at the touch of a button, people can say whatever they want to say with no repercussions. It's difficult. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up from a sides where doing certain things, it's a bit sneaky. Yeah, it's not cool. So you have to maintain your cool. You know what I mean? Putting yourself out there can be seen. Like, I'm not gonna lie, growing up, it was kind of made to be like, oh yeah, put yourself out there is like, it's embarrassing, man. Like, you know, you gotta be cool. You gotta be mysterious. You know what I'm saying? You got to hold back. But when I think about it, I feel like the reason for that was because you were scared. It's scary to put yourself out there. It's scary to put yourself in front of people and give them the free reign to judge you. You know? Awkward beginnings are embarrassing. But you can't walk until you've crawled. You can't run until you've walked. And those learning to take steps is embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? People might laugh. People might judge. People might have nasty things to say. But that's part of the risk you have to take in order to put yourself out there and do the thing. And that scariness is something we all know. And so when we see other people living out loud, doing the thing, trying the thing, I feel like there's a part in a lot of people that they don't acknowledge, which is envy, that these people were able to overcome all of these feelings and just go for it. And just go for it. And then they criticize because it's easier to criticize someone being visible than risk being visible yourself and risk you being criticized. What is it about someone else's success that might be triggering you? Is it their courage to go for what they want? Is it that they started before you and so they seem to have that head start, and that maybe it's too late because, now they've done it and you can't do the thing because you wanted to do what they're doing, but you can't do what they're doing because they've done it and they ain't seem like you're being a copycat? Is it because, okay, you've been thinking of it for years and that's the thing and you've not been able to go forward and do it? If it's any of those things, what I want to say is someone else's visibility and someone else is doing what they're doing doesn't take away from you and your ability to do it. Because even if it's the same idea down to the T, the way you're going to do it is not going to be the way they're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying go and be copying people. No. If you feel like if you have to copy someone, it probably ain't for you. But if it's something that you have had and someone else just happens to be doing it, right? And them doing it makes you feel like you have to hold back and because, well, it's done already, there's no point. Cut that out. If anything, them doing it proves something else. It proves that the path exists. It proves that there are people who are interested in what you've got. It proves that you are able to do that thing. Like, we live in such a vast world, and there is consumers for everything. There is someone that wants what you have to give. There are millions of people creating right now. There are millions of businesses. Millions of voices. Millions of people doing stuff. Using social media alone. How many get ready with me will you see in a day? But you're still going to stop. And you're still going to get ready with them. Why? Because everyone brings their own energy. Everyone brings their own thing, right? There's always an audience for what you have to bring to the table. You will find your audience, but you can't find that audience if you don't put yourself out there. Your audience can't find you if you don't put yourself out there. If someone is visible in the lane you want to be in, notice they're not your competition. Not your competition in the sense, because obviously we're all competitors, right? Cool. But they're not your competition in the sense of it's either them or me. Treat them more as evidence. Evidence that the thing that you desire and the thing you want is possible. But know that possibility requires courage. That possibility requires courage. Most people aren't failing because they lack talent. It's not because you lack talent that you might be failing. You'd be failing because you haven't tried. You'd be failing because you haven't put yourself out there. You're keeping your talents, you're keeping your things to yourself. And so you feel like, oh, yeah, because I couldn't succeed. How do you know you can't succeed? You've not tried. Put it out there, try first, and then see what happens. Make yourself visible. And know that, yes, visibility requires tolerance. You have to be tolerant for criticism. That's one of the things that nearly stopped me because I don't want to hear what no one's got to say more time. But you got to grow a tolerance for criticism. You have to grow, you have to have the tolerance for awkward beginnings. You have to have the tolerance for potentially being misunderstood. But on the flip side, note that there's going to be people who aren't there to criticize you, but there to uplift you. Know that as the awkward beginnings far, the more you do the thing, the more comfortable you get. It's less awkward, and now it's beautiful. Beautiful beginnings, beautiful middles, continuations, you know? Um, yes, you may be misunderstood, but there's going to be a lot of people who also understand you and relate to you and resonate with you. And that's because you had the courage to put yourself out there and try versus sitting and being somehow, feeling somehow because someone else is having the courage to do what you want to do. The truth is, most people would rather be comfortable than to risk those things, than to risk feeling, or than to risk being criticized, going through the awkward beginnings, being misunderstood. Not you. No, you're going to go out there, you're going to do the thing. You're going to go out there, you're going to do the thing, and you're going to now be the cause that someone else is feeling tight in their chest. And you're going to be the reason why someone is asking, why not me? Yeah? Yeah, you go do that. You go do that. Okay? So, the question I want us to ask ourselves, right, is where in our lives are we criticizing someone for doing the things that we low-key secretly want to be doing ourselves? And what would it look like if instead of criticizing those people, we had the courage to go forward and try those things ourselves? What I want to ask you to do, instead of judging someone who has had the courage to go for the thing, instead study them. Study them and ask yourself, what did it take for them to show up in that way? And what would it look like if I stood up in the same authority and went out for what I want in the same way? That's it from me. The tea is finished. I'll see you in the next session. Peace.